Because if you have a new type of data set, and if you have new types of tasks, it might be very difficult to anticipate what you actually need interactively in order to solve a specific task you haven't seen yet, right? Okay. So therefore, it might be much easier to say, okay, you have the data set, you also have all the tasks, the queries, whatever, and then you can start to build your thing. Whereas, even if I give you a few examples, then you would need to anticipate the wealth, the possible universe of queries, which already for LSC is sometimes difficult when you come up with a new way of phrasing things and say, oh yeah, but this is only answerable because of this type of information I never considered. And even though it was always there, nobody ever looked at it because it was never used. So therefore, I would really emphasize the asynchronous part of this for new stuff. And if we want to do interactive things, then they should be reasonably close to things people are already familiar with, right? Because we see with VBS and LSC how high the barrier of entry already is. And if we then say, okay, we're now going to do something that is more complicated than this, or even at least more new, there's completely clean slate. And the people at this table will not have a lot of time to actually participate in this, because because everybody here is involved in actually building the back end of this. So there's not going to be participating teams that are sitting here. This too. But this is an independent problem. But even saying, look, everybody here is probably out of participating because of conflict of interest and because we might already know the ground truth because we have been there. So that already cuts out a whole swath of people who already have the experience with this sort of stuff.
So it has to be easy.
It has to have well, the task can be difficult to do, but it should not have it should not be difficult to attempt.
So how would you design the asynchronous part? It would still be interactive, and we would still give rules of time limit, or
I would essentially have tasks where we do not specify very closely how people solve them, and just do the classic, look, here's a bunch of queries, here's how we're going, here's the format you're supposed to present your results in, here's the metrics we're going to use, you have 3 months, go.
And you have a limit, like let's say you do an interactive task, you have a limit of 3 minutes per task.
Well, not even necessarily, right? Because you can, DragFit also did this, you can say you have to specify how you did it, and then we say if you have a thing that is completely automated, that does not require any human input, then it goes into one bucket. If you have a thing that was human-machine collaboration, it goes into another bucket. And then you're supposed to report, of course we cannot precisely validate this, but you're supposed to report the time, the number of rounds, or whatever is applicable for your approach. Again, this needs to be somewhat broad because people might have very different approaches to do this. But ultimately, everybody just generates a rank ordered list of results, or whatever fits the actual
or the answer if we do question answer.
Yes, or a string, or an integer value if it or something like this, and then we will evaluate this in a maybe fully automated. If we just have a ground truth we can compare it to, maybe a judged, and then we do all this pooling stuff.
We probably have to do a pooling because the data is going to be too big.
I mean, for some, I can think of some types of tasks. So, for example, if you, and this is something I alluded to yesterday. I'm already having sneakily repositioning stuff all around the house. So there are some things, and I'm not going to go into more details because otherwise I'm going to give away the task.
Was that cacao powder?
No, not the cacao powder.
And not the chocolate?
Also not the chocolate.
The banana?
But I mean, that might also be a type of where was the thing kind of task.
Yeah.
Because then there is we actively interacted with the thing. There's also some things you're probably not going to interact with, but that if you look back at the video, you will notice that it was there, but you probably haven't paid attention to it. And now everybody's looking at it, trying to figure out what I'm talking about.
I'm extremely bad in that.
I'm
Can
gonna
replace it now and I
Yes,
won't notice.
I'm going to tell you eventually, right? But essentially, okay, tell me all the locations where that thing was across the time, right? And then it's somewhat automatable.
And you've got a record, right?
I have notes.
Notes, that's enough. That's good enough.
That's very interesting for this virtual forensic stuff that Zeno and colleagues do at Netherlands Forensic Institute. They have this virtual forensic lab and so on. And I think this is kind of going a little bit also touching sister communities, I would say.
I mean, the other thing is you have the receipts from shopping, so you know how much stuff we bought of which things. So
Yes. Oh, that too. That's also.
that
That's
You should
also
record
interesting.
them, yes.
That's also interesting.
Capture
I
them.
photocopy of them all, or
Yeah.
picture of them all.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Okay.
The very long one.
Yeah.
Yes.
But with the video camera. That
No,
would be
no,
interesting.
What the
no,
stuff
with
you
the
bought
camera,
today
because
is
then
not
you
on-
have it as a hidden
I have
ground
it
truth.
on the camera.
Yes. If it's
True.
not on the
Yeah.
camera,
Okay.
then you
Yeah,
have it
It
as a
strikes
hidden
me
ground.
that is a very nice hackathon task. The diet. Generate a recipe book.
Yeah,
That's a simple hackathon task.
yeah,
that we
and
can
I think
actually
this is what I meant
That
before.
might
Like
also be
there
a
is
challenge
work
to us, though,
on.
because that can be
That can be
run through,
evaluated,
right?
yeah.
We can
Yeah.
evaluate.
we have to, so we actually have to make our own recipe book again
Yeah.
after
What
this.
what I
with
what I would
details.
also like to do, what I think would be interesting more for maybe the computer vision focused people, is if I brought the camera, right, and I'm gonna take some pictures later, and we can release some of those pictures, but not others, and then say, okay, what did the camera see? Reconstruct the image based on, you have a bunch of other cameras, you can reconstruct the scene because at least much of the environment doesn't change all that much, so you can probably generate a very accurate 3D reconstruction of the environment. And I'm just gonna, you get a few training images to learn the properties of the camera, right? And it's like, okay, what was the focal length, what are the sensor properties, yada. And then we have the images, and then I can even do a just pixel-based, how accurate was the reconstruction.
I like that.
That's great.
I also brought a thermal camera that we can
Yeah,
take
you
some.
said that.
It's very low res and
Yeah,
it only
usually.
does pictures, but we can run around with this and
Yeah.
take some pictures and see if that gives something interesting.
Can I just I'm thinking about another one that we did once, and it's funny. So you have Google Street View for most of the cities, but in Amsterdam many years ago we started thinking with the city. When I say city, Chief Technology Office and Data Lab, it's a bit risky, to use commercial products because at some point they even change the terms of service, or they start charging insanely high, So Amsterdam has own panorama vehicles, like many cities. You capture them with moving cars or even from the boats, there are cameras mounted there and you kind of stitch them into omnidirectional panorama. So interesting, we used it for some things, aside that you need to anonymize it properly and so on, but we used it for obvious stuff that our community would use, detecting objects in a public space, monitoring state of assets, like in garbage we even did that and so on and so on. But catch is, so now comes interesting thing. So in a big organization like a municipality of that size, you have 50 to 80 departments, and they have all product owners and so on, managers basically, and if they find it interesting enough, to incorporate this into their pipelines, then, it can be expanded and so on, and it can actually save costs on many things. So the city organized once a hackathon. I was in a jury, and that was really interesting. So on the first day come people from different kind of departments, and one is basically monitoring state of the advertisements in a public space. It's kind of you have to pay a tax to put anything in a public space as an advertisement. Apparently, in many cities, people just like hang something,
Right.
hoping nobody's gonna see. And there are even strict regulations on, for example, light pollution. You know, like if you put a light symbol there, well, it may be preventing people from sleeping. You know, like and so on. So anyhow, the head of department came and he was really like, hey, look, there are these panoramas, but we have no idea what they can be used for, and we are totally willing to invest this much and this much. You know, like if we see kind of evidence that you can reliably detect automatically all the advertisements in public space. So there comes another person that says, oh, if you can show us this and this. So there were like 5-6 people that came, and for 2 days people were busy really, and actually they were even kind of sometimes describing it very vaguely, but they were like really, hey, there must be something that we are not seeing there, because otherwise we would be probably using it. If you find something useful in it, when it comes to advertisement and so on, please also let us know. So, but I'm going with this one. We have this data now, so for a hackathon, I think it would be handy to give some guidelines, kind of give some ideas. Hey, look, invite some people from our community that have been working on food, like Tatsen, Chongwa, and so on and so on. They kind of say, hey, look, this is what community has been doing. Some people that were doing this could be in this direction. Doesn't have to be the same, you know, like, and then give some other hints what people use it for. Recipes, you know, like there is this 1 million recipe, you know. We attempted to cook Asian food in Ireland, but I'm quite sure and it tasted great, but it's probably not the original ingredients. So what did we get?
Close enough.
Close enough, yeah, but close enough. That's really great. What did you replace with what? You know? So I think that kind of stuff, and then kind of that's hackathon. And I think for Grand Challenge, at least I think we need to keep some interaction, because if you look what most of the people do, like in NeurIPSy, Cyclears, computer vision conferences and so on, it's mostly fully automatic stuff. And this is like sports event. It's fun. It's I think that's some kind of joy that we are bringing to the table of a conference, any conference.
Absolutely, but then again, interactive has a high barrier of entry, so it should not be exclusive.
Yeah, I think what's coming out from the conversation is there's an asynchronous task and there's a synchronous task.
Yeah.
The asynchronous task is going to be lower barrier to entry. Any student in any university that can get his hands on 20 terabytes or her hands on 20 terabytes of disk space can process the data set, can process 24 queries or whatever we decide to do, send in results, pool relevant judgments, submission back, whatever, like answers back, results back. And those that want to do the interactive element will come to the actual conference definitely, right? And they will take part in an interactive Grand Challenge, which is part of the conference. That's why they asked us to do it, right? They wanted the VBS and the LSE
And we need more interaction.
Yeah.
Like we forgot that one. Like that was the thing. Multimodality, agents, interaction. That's like basically 3 cornerstones.
So if we take it back to the simplest thing, there's a ad hoc and there's a Q&A set, right? And then we lead to synchronous challenge, which is ad hoc and Q&A, maybe something else thrown in there, people know well in advance. And that's the first year. And next year we use the same data set, do it again with a grander set of challenges for people. That does look at their recipe creation or whatever it is we decide we want to do. But we get it kicked off where we can show the success by having, what is success, 10 participants?
Yeah,
That's success.
I mean, ideally this would then also grow over time, because there's a lot of data that, well, there's a lot of data augmentation that can be done.
Yes.
So ideally what I would like to see at some point, which should be very doable for a large fraction of time. So most of us are going to be visible by at least one camera most of the time. We have a trajectory that can be reconstructed just based on the sensor streams that should be on this. So you should not only be able to have the position of every person in time, you could also do the full pose reconstruction, have all the skeleton control points. So you essentially can back project the people into the space, how they were posing, and then do this for all the action-y things, interacty things. Even if people want to do robot-y things, right? You at least have a barometer, how did people interact with it. But this is not necessarily very difficult from a technology, or at least from a science point of view, right? So methods to do this exist. It is just going to be work. to actually do this.
But is that a
So we will
CVPR
probably not.
brand challenge then?
Yeah, so we're not going to release this in February with a high fidelity annotated skeleton postings,
But-
because even if somebody wanted to do this, it would just take some time
But
to
wouldn't this be something someone could do for the hackathon?
Yes, something
Yes,
like this.
absolutely.
I would
But
totally put
just
something
bear
like this
in mind-
on the list.
The
Yeah.
hackathon
I mean-
focus was healthcare slash
Yeah.
wellness.
Yes, but
Yeah.
even
I mean, if you do
You
post-
do too, right?
Post reconstruction is a number of healthcare applications. That's,
Yeah.
Motion of somebody, motion of an elderly person around the home.
Yeah.
Is social interaction healthcare?
We need to
Mental
start walking
health.
people over onto the ground.
I don't
Sanity checking.
think you wanna go there.
Social interaction.
yes, no,
Meaning, think of us, you know, like.
But I guess for the
Evaluate the average sanity over
for
time.
for the hackathon, I would even keep it more open and say, look,
yeah.
this is the broad topic. These are some possible things we have come up with that
Yes.
we think would be interesting. You are supposed to, if you want to participate, sign up, propose a team,
Right.
propose a task, and probably we will just accept everything that is sensible,
We'd be happy to.
and as long as we have the capacity, and then our hackathon chairs are going to figure out all the rest, and possibly maybe we can get somebody to sponsor a best hackathon,
Conference
something.
right. Yeah. Sponsored by ACM Multimedia 2020.
I mean, one thing I was thinking also, I mean, for this tutorial on XR search, one insight was basically there's work on mixed reality search engines like they do at Basel, but there is no way of evaluating them. So
It's
this
fake.
could also be one thing. Like, I mean, I was thinking you have a lot of things happening in the kitchen. So you could be in a real kitchen where you have items that you could use as query objects.
Mm-hmm.
So this could also be an exploration of like how would you set up a comparative interactive environment in which you test XR or MR search, right? Which is really something that's not there yet.
Totally.
Which is interesting enough because there's commercial interest in actually building such
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
and there's, I mean, it's very wild west these days, right? There's
Yeah.
people trying all these sort of things. It's very niche at this point in time, but ubiquitous computing has been a buzzword for a while, and it is cooking
Yeah.
up every once in a while. So I would not be surprised if there would be more commercial interest within the next few years to really try and put products into people's
Yeah.
hands. I don't know to what degree these products are driven by needs, or to what degree this is driven by what can we currently actually make work.
Yeah, of course, it's also like always like having a new feature for every release of another generation of devices,
Yeah.
of course, because it's just saying, okay, there is now a few 100,000 pixels more again. At some point, it's not the most catchy argument. So you
We've
need-
run out of things you can
Yeah,
perceive,
yeah.
right? So
Okay, so what's the next steps? Somebody writes down what we came up with, and we have it as listening.
Everyone is everything is documented.
well, I mean, everything is everything is.
Another suggestion, maybe, just a small one, to spice it up. And I kind of started thinking of spice it up, actually.
We're getting going, right?
Like, there was this article, you know, like speaking of this pseudo-psychology, you know, like about organizational theories and so on. Have you ever seen a?
Well, you
a
told me about
article?
this, yes.
You take a sheet of paper, you literally salt it, you smash it right away, and it reduces your stress. It was very well known in some journals of dubious science.
Just
So this
so-
yeah, actually unbelievable, but okay. So, what I was thinking, you mentioned that. I just read an article, I couldn't believe it. It's actually some very well known names they've made. So, putting a pepper on me maybe reduces my stress. But do the salt. And then, anyway, and for yourself as well.
Yeah.
So, what I was aiming at, somebody mentioned that we are going to be familiar with the data set and a process. People around us also a little bit more, you know, like because you tell colleagues, friends, you know. for a hackathon, maybe it could be a good idea to assign to each team that applies, and we ask people to apply beforehand, a shepherd, somebody who's this or that way involved. And we kind of also organize it as a competition, meaning that shepherd is going to be guiding the team. You see where I'm going, and helping them make the best out of what they want, not really telling them what to do, but kind of trying to squeeze. I see some fronts, probably not a good idea. I was thinking, let's say Werner takes team A from Tsinghua, and Kahal takes a team from.
Oh,
I can see
you're
that,
doing
yes.
it like
Yeah,
some
this
American
is-
Idol or maybe
Yeah,
something.
no, this is
Something like that, yeah. Why not?
No,
it's an interesting approach. I like the idea. I'm a bit worried about its implementation because many people on this table are going to be very busy these days, especially during the time of that hackathon.
Yeah, we won't have any. Actually, half people here won't have any spare time during that hackathon. Actually, you won't either.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
Because it's going to
if-
be in a weekend, is it?
we should ideally have some time during that hackathon because if
Stupid.
we
idea,
are
okay.
busy running around and something went horribly wrong.
Well,
at
in
that
those
point in time.
cases, it's the general chairs that will be busy handing out whiskies and stuff. So you guys should actually have enjoyable weekly reality, so you will have time to do stuff.
yeah. Well, I guess before the hackathon, it could be in the preparation phase. It could
Yes.
be light involvement, and yeah, I guess someone needs to be there anyway during the hackathon. So
Like,
I think this shepherding idea could work. I'm not sure because you said putting it more like a competition. I don't think. I mean, there might be very different ideas, so you can't really
Yeah, so
compare
it's-
them.
it's
So I
more of
wouldn't-
a jury kind of
Jury,
thing.
yeah.
which is okay. The
Yeah.
TPC co-chairs will only be really busy in June, right?
Yeah.
Chasing down 1,000 missing reviews or
Oh
something.
man, program and all the
The
things.
program stuff will happen in July, right? Once you know all the, you have lots of time.
A lot.
So much time.
Yeah.
You will not know what to do with
You will
all
have
that
4
time.
weeks during the conference.
Okay,
There is
remember, there's
all
one
the-
thing we have to keep in mind. Whatever we decide to do for the hackathon, poor Vincent will be under pressure to replicate it next year. So it rolls on.
Yeah.
Not entirely convinced
I
that
agree.
this is our immediate problem because we need to make it first. We need to make it work the first time.
You
Yeah.
can make it attractive, but
and then you learn
typically
lessons
take
from
part
it
in
and
it.
maybe you
Yeah.
change. So
But I think
Yeah.
Finally.
some kind of reconstruction, data
I love it.
documentation, make it very flexible.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can propose some health-related topics like
Yeah.
recipe,
Recipe generation.
sanity checking. I don't know. If you can evaluate, if you have ways to evaluate, public mental health, can you apply them and give people sanity ratings and see whether there's a decline over the days of the workshop? No, whatever you want. Right?
Anything left to decline?
What is also interesting is all these. If you look at what people do with this tracking of elderly homes, I was mentioning, and are people, for example, classic question. Did they fall? Okay, that's not happening here. Hopefully, so far nobody fell. I think. but the thing-
Kyle said it's a dry house. That's why nobody fell so far.
Or we're just gonna strew more banana peels and stuff. So
Yeah,
to,
we should do that.
But another one, for example, that they were catching, there were commercial products also like on it. Are people hydrated enough? Did they take enough of this? Did they take enough of that?
Yeah.
And so on and
This
so on.
is like what's going to be really useful for elderly people, independent living.
Now
where
we're hitting all
They
these
won't wear
subjects
this,
somehow.
they may have those guys.
Yeah, exactly,
So
yeah,
the data
yeah.
set's really useful for that. So
Yeah.
that kind of a challenge is nice.
Totally. Maybe we get in touch with the
I have a
case
company,
people.
that does that as well. Not I have.
I
We
mean-
work with a company that does that. But they'd be really interested in sponsoring something like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do this with
Please.
proxy task. I mean, this is the drug I'm supposed to take to keep me alive. So did I get
Yes.
my level of
your vital dose of
yeah,
caffeine.
exactly.
But it
Yeah.
all ties in with the recipe generation. What did you put in the meals? The amount of consumption that each individual person has done. Can we pull that out of the two cameras?
Yeah,
or
did
just
we
from-
get
Asynchronous
a
tasks,
variety
yeah.
of nutritional
Interactive
ingredients?
It's such a
during
nice
the-
data set.
allergy warnings.
On item
Yeah.
and ad hoc.
We have to at least get 2 years out of this data set before we make a new one now.
I think that's the
Yeah.
Bigger and longer,
Yeah.
with bigger SD cards.
bigger, more everything. I think this is something that is on the agenda for later in the week to see what if we had infinite time and infinite money.
Yeah. Well, this was done on a massive budget. That's why we're at the end of the world. We had done this in Wicklow beside Dublin, short drive, access to more facilities close by, but it would have been double the price. So we had a rough envelope of 10,000.
Yes, and I mean these things
We haven't
are
had those already, right?
these things are nice. They're not. If we had designed this from scratch, this would look different, right? But
then I would have had to have 20,000. I would have had to put together something.
Yeah.
We happen to have these.
no, if we had designed this from scratch, you're talking quite a bit more. But
But we can always
remains
ask.
to be seen.
We could get these police body cams and
Well,
so
actually,
on.
we
They
thought
would
about
be
about
worse.
strapping these on here, right? We thought
This
about
was
this.
this was the
We didn't
first
do it.
this was the first idea we had. So just
In fact,
do
you still like
the,
that idea.
do the harness. Do the harness.
Harness, yeah.
The problem with the harness, if I have the camera here, can I do this? Right?
Yeah. Like
I can already
there,
move
okay.
my eyes, and you will have
Why?
no idea where I'm looking at. But at
Yeah,
least
but
if
we
I
are
move,
gonna-
at
We'll
least if
mount the eyeball next
if I move my head, at least you see what I'm looking
If
at.
somebody builds
If
a
eyeball
tracking
mounted
camera with
cameras.
detector built in,
I mean, honestly, they're like fairly compact sensors for eye tracking. no?
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
not like the one we have in the other room.
No,
It's
but
certainly-
there's things that could be done
if Luca has a lot of time
if
to
it's
build it.
if it's feasible. Well, I'm not an electrical engineer, so this is this
Like-
probably if
Everybody
you
gets a bit
actually
pro.
need to do this.
Electrical engineer.
glasses
There are a
frames,
few others.
two cameras,
Think
eye
electrical.
tracking.
No, no,
movement.
Right.
It can all be done.
It can be done.
And
I
a
mean,
battery
But I'm
pack.
electrical.
To be fair, even in this like version, as long as there are two people sort of facing each other, there
Yeah,
should be a way to reconstruct the eyes.
this is definitely also some data augmentation thing I would want to do,
Yeah.
right? If I look at you, can I reconstruct based on your feed where your point of attention was at any point in time?
Exactly.
Given
yes.
your given
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
I
that can be
see-
such
yes.
a cool
Yeah.
task.
Yeah.
Actually, estimation from another person's another point of view.
Yeah.
That
Speaking of
was
which,
really
Kavel,
like-
I think
Yeah.
your camera is also a little bit high.
Is it?
Can we reconstruct everything in
can
the
we just like do one thing, because
Yeah,
Klaus
that would
now
be
asked me what did we finally conclude, so actually
No,
also
no.
It's
For the
interesting.
challenge, for the
For the
challenge.
finally
so,
conclude.
so just like
little bit
for
further?
a catch,
Not
and also
completely
for
I
basically
think
maybe it becomes a
that
task.
is
Can we
better.
now summarize? This is what we think now.
Yeah.
Grand challenge is roughly going to be just as a summary. If somebody can kind of
Yeah.
repeat, this grand
Okay.
challenge, this is going to be hackathon.
Better.
Bit high. Still.
Still a little bit
For-
high, but
for-
the screen's not on, so I can't.
So guys,
Yeah.
summary coming.
I think this is better, yeah.
Everybody look at Luca.
Yes.
No, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that for the actual challenge, we can have several subtasks that, so I mean, first to Drax, the interactive thing, that stuff is happening there on site, and the more traditional, you send us results, we're gonna tell you how well you did. Non-interactive stuff. For the former, it will probably have to be reasonably similar to the two interactive challenges we've already been doing. So have some instance retrieval and have some question answering
Yeah.
with a human in the loop.
And we
aspect.
would like to attract VPS teams and
Yeah.
LSC teams,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we would do judging maybe with a few people from here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
from
Perfect. We
a
are judges,
setup
yes.
point of view, from an infrastructure point of view, also how the tasks are designed, how the tasks are presented, it would be the exact same thing
Yeah.
as VBS and LSC.
So and then it could later go to the VPS and LSC, but for the first
Yes,
time
we
next
might
year,
even
Dacia
it will
Multimedia.
be a Dacia Multimedia.
push this
Yeah.
into one of those
Yeah.
possibly, which makes the communication to the people reasonably easy. I mean, what we might want to do anyway is just write a brief. If you have never heard of VPS and LSC, this is how it works kind of document. which we're missing anyway. So
Yeah,
onboarding
right.
onboarding for new
Yeah.
teams is hard because you essentially have to chronologically read a decade of publications to see how the stuff actually works. But that would be the interactive one. And then there's a bunch of logistics we need to figure out, but this is essentially just work. So this is not difficult.
And for non-interactive, we could do almost the same tasks, but asynchronously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus more stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But,
some
I
of
mean-
the things that we've said that we can actually evaluate that are different type of tasks, as in reconstruct this view from this point. So I actually took the picture, but I'm not showing you the picture.
Also, point of
the-
view, region of interest / salient objects, eye gaze
That might be-
from another person's
That
point
might
of
be
view.
difficult to evaluate because we don't have the ground
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
So this is more of a hackathon kind of thing.
Yeah. Or
Because there we can
Preparing
look,
it
there
for
we can
future
look
years,
at it
yeah.
and see if it is reasonable. But if two teams submit something similar, we don't have a
Yeah.
precise metric to see how good is this, because otherwise somebody would actually need
Yeah.
to have the eye tracker, right? So these would be the so that definitely the question answering the instance retrieval stuff in both tracks.
Yeah.
And the non-interactive would have additional tracks for reconstruction-y things that you could not reasonably do interactively. That also would not necessarily need human input because it's more of an algorithmic.
Like recipes or something that we could.
Yes,
Fine.
regenerate this
Yeah,
recipe.
yeah.
Regenerate this schedule for this person.
Right, yeah.
Count the number of this person did this time or on this day this kind of action was performed.
Right.
This sort of thing. This is still sort of kind of question answering. I would really want to do the visual reconstruction thing for the also so the computer vision people also have an interesting task. Things like that, right?
So just thinking about the reconstruction, maybe something we should do while we're here is taking measurements of all the rooms as a ground truth.
Yes. Do we have
Measuring
a,
tape.
Is there a blueprint of
Yeah.
those?
Well,
I doubt they'll give us.
I mean-
This is a bit funny. I might get measuring tape on
Yeah.
Friday morning. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Kahal, that must be if they were selling it. There must be a floor plan.
Yes.
In Netherlands,
Yes,
at
I'm
least
just
you'll
thinking
find
what
for all
happened
houses.
to my
But we had the
contract
furniture
and say,
also.
Thank you
maybe.
for the week in your home. It was wonderful. Have you got the floor plans and the measurements? Already I'm thinking, oh, it's today's going to be out there with all their beautiful furniture in it. I don't ask for any more. I'm a little bit hesitant. After that, I'd rather we just take our measurements.
yeah, yeah.
To be fair, I
We-
think most
we-
modern smartphones can do reasonably accurate measurements,
Yeah.
so we can probably just do it ourselves without.
There is a hardware store in the supermarket, so we would have that.
We could get a automatic vacuum cleaner to generate the floor plan.
But you presumably, as long as we have a reference object that we know the precise dimensions
True,
of,
yeah.
everything else
Yeah,
could technically
yeah.
be reconstructed based on.
That's dark.
That's dartboard.
Yeah.
I was more thinking about something that is properly
Yeah.
like,
Stable.
like
Like
has a pattern on it that you can
knowing-
actually calibrate the camera and
Yeah.
Kahal, you will
things-
need to walk through the
things-
house with this milk carton and so on.
things like that. But I mean, or just you can do essentially volumetric reconstruction just based on all these images.
Yeah. No. It's just about like if you want to make it useful, it's data set. It's
Yes.
also good
The
to
more
have a
stuff you
ground
have, the
truth,
better,
yeah.
right? Okay, so do you have a plan for thinking about this, and tomorrow we kind of finalize what that looks like?
Yeah. And I guess for the hackathon we discussed a bunch of things that would be interesting, so it might be good. And I don't have the agenda we came up with
No.
on the top of my head,
I'm just trying to find a list of tasks
but
before everybody gets up.
it might
It's on
be
the
good
fridge, Kahal.
if everybody also thinks about.
But you have the summary of first day? Something?
What do you mean?
Like video or something?
Yeah, I have some metadata
The big thing
of
on,
the
yeah,
video.
it's different,
Yes.
different
that
elements.
Should we
I'll come to some of the results from yesterday in a
Okay.
bit.
No taking.
should we have a viewing of some of the data from yesterday?
Viewing on the days.
Viewing probably not.
Of the funniest things that happened yesterday.
If I don't have that technology.
Okay, before we get up, I want to draw a list of tasks that everybody should be kind of doing over the course of this time, right?
Right.
So we have cooking, we know that already, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's cooking something.
Yes.
Everybody's cleaning after cooking. Right?
Yes.
I think we paid already now.
Everybody should be doing the reading experiment. On and on will chase you down.
Can you try later if it makes a difference?
Again, chase with
Let's
the
not
pen.
all do the reading experiments on Friday afternoon, right?
Go on.
It's not the most fun
Try to
element.
get as
How
many
long?
people as you can today.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
20 minutes reading, you said. 20
Yes.
minutes.
Read
It's
a book, right?
Allowed?
If it's
I was doing reading aloud.
Yeah, but it should be the guideline. Do you want others to read aloud?
When I was working, so.
It doesn't
I'll
matter.
probably
right?
not
How
do
can I
that.
get to
I'm just thinking, what's the
But it
benefit
might
of
be-
reading it? Read aloud.
to
Why not? It's extra data, right?
Yeah, but you can't get this high.
I'm not used to it.
Yes, of audience.
It's very weird to read out loud now. It's like
I was doing
Imagine you have a kid there.
yeah. No, but then I will read it Vietnamese.
We've already done the Christmas tree.
How many steps did you make? Because you went to store. I made
So-
2,000.
Everybody should at least try to make noise on the guitar, right?
No, it's okay.
Alright.
Noise on guitar. I won't call it music.
So,
I made even more.
do we have a printer?
So-
No. No. Okay.
Um,
I need some coordinates.
Origami.
we're getting the third laptop.
Yes.
But I
I will
can put
set
a-
up that device later.
One of the
today.
helpers can do it, right? Just need to.
No, we can do. This is a task. We can do. I will set this
That's all.
machine up later today.
Okay, so this is
With
reading
chords.
music.
That's
We
all.
will
With chords, guitar chords.
with Ubuntu, and then you can do whatever you want.
Install
MIDI software.
It directly boots into some MIDI thing. and that's-
Yeah.
Not everybody can do laundry, so I'm doing laundry and someone's coming to laundry.
Oh, right.
Yes. Install some musical qualifications.
Playing.
Games?
Okay, so games. And games will be multiple. We have wooden block game,
Oh yeah, that's what we
Excuse
did.
me, wooden block tower game.
wooden block.
Well,
Tower.
depends on if it's tower game or
There's
just blocks.
Well, there's a tower in there right now, and it's very impressive that it's still standing.
Yes. But the question is, how many blocks can you pull down of that tower before it collapses?
It looks like one.
Yeah, exactly. No, it looks like zero, right? Before it collapses.
You might be able to
The
take
top.
the topmost
Yes, maybe.
game.
but
But aside that,
Buckaroo.
Buckaroo.
what?
Chess.
Buckaroo game.
Buckaroo, what's the Buckaroo game?
It's in there. It's
Chess,
the one where
Connect
you
Four.
put the
You
things on the
put it
corner
on
and
the-
post
Just
it,
ignoring
shows
you.
it, shows it
Oh.
off.
Poker.
Poker. Proper poker.
What is proper
Proper poker.
Dublin.
Dublin rules.
Okay, and chess. and
That's
Connect
gone
Four.
We
solid.
won't, we won't get everybody in. Everything's in on the table, yeah? Chess, Connect Four.
I didn't play chess since elementary school.
We
It
should
would be
have-
funny if
the
I
rules
played-
are still the same.
Darts.
Yeah.
Dark.
Stefan, you playing
This
against
is
me?
the
Same for
chess
me.
Chess or
I'm not joking.
Finally, a worthy opponent, somebody who plays at my level.
What's the equivalent
that's gonna be
of chess
hilarious,
that you
yeah.
have here?
drafts. You take the Connect Four.
Inventing
pieces and you
rules.
take drafts.
Googling rules.
Basically,
It's an easier game than
That
chess.
machine is
People will be
needed.
feeling
Yeah,
less
exactly.
stressed. Okay, drawing.
I think it's similar.
We need a chess program.
It's similar to check.
Suggest
It's
the
similar to
next
check.
I mean, we can play
Paper
checkers
planes.
with
Writing,
Connect
yeah.
Four.
Drawing
Yes.
with what? You don't have pencils. You don't
It's
have.
unfair
You got
advantage.
put it
Whoever
first.
first opens a web page with some
No, you get
basic
anything, that's
tactics
why I
is
had
probably
to
going to
pay
be the best.
after.
What?
She painted a picture with enamel paint to use for
Yes, but
No,
it's
I think-
much nicer because the others
Like
are.
the
what was it?
color.
What was the other thing we said?
Origami.
Origami. Paper plane.
I would
I
want some
didn't. I was
colors.
so
Yes,
tired
you-
yesterday. I couldn't
well,
add up
You have
numbers.
colors,
Yeah.
colors you will not be able to achieve the long game.
Long game,
Yes.
dart slash
No, no,
long
not only
game.
that.
Oh, you
But
didn't
we saw
get that.
that at the end of the day. You remember, like we were.
Okay.
Is that it?
Quizzes?
Thesis?
Quizzes.
Quizzes.
I mean, pieces.
Thesis.
Quizzes.
I have somebody handing up a thesis this week if you want to read it. You're very welcome.
The reading task.
Reading task. Somebody please read News PhD. Right. The happy quiz. Anything else?
I think that's it.
I think that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 20.
Teach somebody a card game.
Teach how
Well,
to
Uno.
I wanna learn poker because I also
No, I'm
play
fine.
that one.
Very full.
But don't learn from her.
If
She will take all your
rules.
money while you're learning.
Dublin rules.
I wanna learn
No,
poker.
but definitely, if you have a thing
I
that
will
you
show
can
you.
teach other
Okay.
people, that would be
It's
very
much less
interesting.
complicated.
So I call
What do you mean much less
Klaus,
complicated? How much
Klaus,
less
Klaus,
complicated?
If you get on your cards,
Yeah.
you're allowed to change one. You go. So
Okay.
5 cards. Oh, yeah, I want to go to this one. Take another card. Thank you. Show your cards.
Until you have a
Oh.
That's
not
poker.
It's poker. It's proper.
No.
poker.
It's a version of poker, yes.
Okay, and how many rounds of betting are there?
What's the rule? What's the
You
rule?
just keep going until you finish.
So,
No.
do you
But
know
like,
the normal rule?
You
of
still
poker?
bet with chips, right?
Yes.
I used to know.
But like,
I don't know.
so you
I
get
will
your
raise
cards.
you 50.
Haven't played
Yeah,
it.
no, no.
And you'll match me.
So
And
you
you'll
try
raise
to
me.
get
However
some
many
patterns.
rounds.
Okay.
Eventually,
Until
it's
They try to get some patterns
But it should be
out
around
five
before you
cards.
switch your
Oh
card.
yeah,
example,
After
like-
you switch your card.
Yes,
pairs and
yes.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
would be more
But
difficult.
his version is that you get 5 cards at once.
But you
Their
have a round
version
of
is that
betting
you
before you
have
switch
2 cards
and
on
then
your
after.
own and 3
No, we normally do
and
after.
the
We
other
do it before- we do it- we do
5
it.
Yeah.
cards
It
on
would
the
be more
table.
interesting with
Yeah.
before.
I think I was playing that one.
Okay.
Next,
Because
Texas
they-
roulette. Texas
But
roulette.
Yeah.
the thing is that the sets
Look,
that
We
you
play proper
bought.
poker. You play
Just
some
no.
Texas
This is
poker.
Texas
too.
Hold'em.
No, but the thing is that the
I
sets
can play it as well.
on the sets there was slots for the cards, so
Okay.
they were playing according to the
We'll play
sets.
snap.
Snap.
What is snap?
Whoever gets a matching card. Snap.
Ah, yes.
It's actually good fun.
Yeah.
Hey,
If you're 12.
so that double
Oh, yeah.
poker.
We'll do Dublin poker.
Yeah.
All along you're in.
Sure.
Dublin rules.
Sure.
Very good. So
Okay,
basically,
so
it's
it's
one off. You
poker,
get a card,
proper
you
poker
can
is already in there, yes.
get new
Proper
dealt. We play proper poker.
Yes.
But that means your credit card is out.
What?
Your credit card goes on the
I
table.
don't have it. The wallets and
Yeah, that's
everything.
proper
Okay,
poker.
well, yeah, on the
That's
fridge.
proper.
Right? The only thing, not everybody can actually do laundry, but everybody can do cleaning.
Sweep the house and then.
Everybody is expected to clean up after 2 meals, right? Over the course.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
I can do cleaning now. I didn't do
You
cleaning.
cooking? No, you
Yeah,
cook.
you're
No,
cooking.
you're
Yeah, you
the
go to
chef.
clean.
You're the breakfast chef every day apparently now. So
Self-appointed. Plus helping with lunches.
So who was
Did
lunch?
you get the rolling pin when you were shopping?
We didn't, but we got a very tightly wound aluminium foil.
I was kind of afraid that you would say that, but okay. we can
Now
make
it
that-
was
we
the
can-
cheapest one, so it was really small. It's perfect.
Yeah, I
we
saw
can
that.
make, we
Yeah,
can make that
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you start?
We that was a decision taken. Yeah.
Well, he.
That's a wrong decision taken.
A decision taken by people.
The other option was we went to Galway and we're still on the way back now.
So I'm self.
There was no rolling pin?
Order it from Amazon, it will arrive
Cheese
next
is
week.
gone.
Yeah, there was no rolling pin.
There was no wrong bit.
There was no rolling
No
pin.
wrong bit.
You wanna check?
We didn't have the cameras on, so nobody could prove
Yeah.
it.
No labor fund.
There was no rolling pin.
So lunch is
Chicken hot.
chicken
Oh,
hot.
yeah.
It's gonna I'm talking with you, right?
No.
This one, there is label.
Just me, Lynn, and Bao.
Klaus,
I thought you can do it.
How long
Yeah,
will
but
it
the
take?
thing is that they are not wearing cameras. So
An
I
hour.
have to do it for them.
Or somebody else
An
can
hour.
do it. They can instruct you.
Maybe a bit more because
It
we're
would
many
actually be
people,
much
but
more
quite
interesting
fast.
If it's somebody who has no idea what they're doing.
Right.
You just have to give instructions.
Oh, if you're willing to have a really bad one.
You can do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're willing to have to risk, we have plenty of food, right?
This is gonna make good.
That's so good.
What's the worst that can happen?
I'm not famous.
This one is.
Now,
Yeah.
on camera.
On camera. Because it's gonna be the day the query's gonna be out before the data comes out.
Yeah,
So it's mathematics.
yeah, but can I do it after lunch?
You cook lunch
Vintage
now?
shutter.
No, not now.
Bonkers.
No, but you find some volunteers wearing cameras who have no idea. You've never seen the recipe. And then that's much more
The,
interesting.
the important thing is that even the person who suggested the recipe doesn't know what he's doing. So,
That's even more interesting.
I needed to get more stuff this morning.
Yeah,
Because
that's great. So,
But you've made it before.
no.
No.
So
Okay.
nobody made it before because we actually
It's
don't know what
okay.
we're doing.
It's fine. Let's talk to ham as well.
Oh yeah, what's the ham for?
Sandwiches.
Okay, you can do that as a backup.
Yeah.
For the trip.
So it doesn't go bad.
Okay. Great job.
Okay.
Okay. So who are the two people who are doing the cleaning?
I can do it.
Lovely. You're two people.
Yes.
I'll go back to the
I
laundry.
will go to the coffee, yeah.
Jesus,
We
for
can.
the fridge.
Yes.
As a second. Because laundry is outside of cameras, right?
Laundry is in cameras.
No, outside camera, Carol. We don't have the camera there.
Oh, well, outside.
I'm gonna be the second camera
Yeah, yeah.
observing.
Where do I put this?
Cow.
This is clean.
Yes. So we are watching you.
You have to figure out how to do this, right?
First, I need to wait the light there.
Is it
Yes.
finished?
Yes.
Sure.
No, definitely not. I'm not
It's
opening
locked.
this.
It's locked. Yeah.
It's locked.
No, it's not. It's
There's
not.
water inside.
Yes.
It's going to go into here, so let's figure out how this works.
I think they put everything ready. You put to the light. You don't have that many things, right?
Loaded.
What's the start?
Heavy duty.
If this doesn't work, we're in trouble.
Temperature selector.
It's permit,
Slow,
press high. Oh, it's off, hang on.
But it might
It's
be.
a medium.
There might be.
It's on. Everything is on.
Should be on, everything should be on.
Oh, there might be a switch here, right?
Yeah, but it's on.
It's on. If I press start, it should just work.
It is just working.
Yeah, can I have one and I just do my laundry there?
Được chưa? Mấy sấy không?
That is open already.
Okay.
Okay, that's easy.
And then probably.
Just clean.
Filter, it's clean.
I got it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Good.
I'm going to do a white shirt wash as well.
Yes.
If anybody has white,
I have a white shirt.
yes, I washed it.
I think.
I didn't bring enough shirts. Okay.
It's all good. Get the white shirt now.
I'm going to, yes. I'll bring down my shirts too.
Put them in.
Oh my god. Fake milk.
Fake milk. Oh. Very, very non-milk.
Reference, you know, in Amsterdam, and the rest of the country jokes about Amsterdam. Put there.
So
So when the rest
I
of
will
the
leave the
country
dirty
jokes about
here.
Amsterdam, they always joking, oh these old cappuccino folks.
We forgot to put the milk rice on the table.
Oops.
yes.
So this one goes to fridge or it can stay on a
Is
countertop?
this clean or dirty? What's currently?
It's on fridge. International expert fridge or countertop?
Fridge. That's the fridge.
This is gonna be fun.
Leave it here.
And then we're done.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. You can almost start.
This is interesting. These ones, I think I should put them.
I guess they are meant to be outside here. They don't need to go into the
Yeah,
fridge, I think.
no, but to move them because we.
Yeah, you can check if there's space in there.
I think they should be.
So I leave them here first?
Now you can already start putting
Oh.
them in here.
Yes.
No. This is my world famous packaged. I think maybe not here. What are you doing?
Oop.
Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, I think we can. Hey, we have a wander.
Okay, yeah. Just make sure or put it in here because there's already some stuff. Because otherwise, I think we don't know where we put stuff.
Here. So,
Oh yeah, we have.
man, this is a squeezing head very properly. I think that maybe that's why we are tired. No, seriously.
Yes.
Our head is super compressed from
Yes.
this.
Yesterday, even when I sleep, I still feel it.
Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah.
I went to sleep and
Yes.
I really felt, oh, the
Exactly.
camera still on.
Yes. That it is.
So, Fox,
You want to play the Vietnamese card game?
Yes, I want to do this.
It's a bit complicated, but it's very
Okay.
interesting.
All right, tell me.
Yes, the rune is a little bit complicated.
White clothes washed.
So I put the shirt on the,
Okay.
but towels are not ready. I mean, it's spinning now, I think.
Yeah, for cooking, roasting.
So I think the name is 13 or 2. I don't remember which
Okay.
the English name,
Okay,
but you start with firm 13 card.
okay.
So let me go for this because we have for 13 in total. We're not missing any.
That's a new deck.
Yeah. So you will have 13 card. Yes. So we go by turn.
Turn, okay.
Yeah. So, and the rule is quite similar to poker,
Okay.
but you can go for one card,
Okay,
and then if I go for this number 3, you have to go higher,
okay.
or at least equal. So if you have a
Same suit or different suit?
doesn't matter. But if we have the order, so
Yeah.
this the highest is the highest,
Okay,
and then come to the diamond,
okay. Then
and this and this. So let's say that we have on 3. If I
okay,
put this number 3, then you must be higher.
okay,
Can be 4, 5, 6. Doesn't matter about the colors, or the same, but you have to be higher.
okay.
So this is the order. Heart, diamond. How do you call this in English?
Clubs.
Clubs, and then spade.
Spade is lowest.
Spade is lowest, club, and
Okay.
then yeah. So that's it. The order.
Diamonds, hearts.
Yes. So
Okay,
or you can go by a pair,
okay,
or you can go continuously, like
Okay.
straight
okay.
from 3. Like let's say, for example, like
Right.
let me see. Yes, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay,
Or 5, 6, 7, 8.
right.
And if I go here, you must go exactly 4 card, and must be higher than me.
So you do this and then I have to do 4.
Yes. Or you say you skip,
Okay,
and then I keep going.
okay. But now I could go 4 cards and keep any cards as long as I'm following the rule of higher.
Yes. Yes. The higher, the biggest should be higher.
So I can go like 9,
10.
10, another 10.
No, not 10. Cannot hear. No. That's, in this case, I'm sorry. Yeah, I expect.
Okay.
It should be Jack and then Queen.
Okay, but can I start in a different? Can I do? Does it have to be higher than yours?
Yes, you must be higher than me, or you
Okay.
or you must skip.
All right, and that means I skip.
You can put everything on. Yes.
Yeah, I skip. No, so let's yes. Okay,
me
and
see.
then we should turn our cameras down so we can actually see the cards
Uh,
while you're playing. Turn your camera down.
yeah, you
so
don't
we
have
can-
anything higher.
Yeah, well, not enough, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
that's the simple things.
So what happens now? Did you win or?
No,
No, or-
the guy who play own the car is win that game first.
Okay.
So let's say if I play own up my 13 car, I'm won. And you still
Okay.
have something left, then
Okay.
you lose.
Okay.
But
So it now means you just played 4 cards
yes.
and you got rid of them, and
And
so
then
now
I-
you have the advantage, right?
Yeah, you can say you skip, and then I can go next maybe like this.
Okay.
Yes.
And now I have to do.
You have fire bear, bigger than mine. For example,
Okay,
yes.
For example, this one.
And then I can go for let's say this.
And now I can do this.
Yes. And then I don't have anything, so I have to say I skip it.
So because you have no
Nothing.
sequence or.
Yes. I have
Oh,
nothing.
because it's.
You high. I don't have anything bigger.
Okay.
Yes. I have to skip it, and then you go next.
Oh, okay. But then, okay, so now it's my turn to.
You can choose whatever you want. You can choose
whatever
one
I want,
card,
So,
a pair,
so,
three.
for example, can I do a longer sequence?
Yes, as long as you want.
So I can do 7, 8, 9, something
And
like
even
this.
yeah, and then I have to say I skip it.
Okay.
Yes, and then you go for this, and then I have to say I
go for a
skip
pair,
it. Yes.
And then I can do a sequence.
Yes. Yes.
Ah,
But
okay.
but wait,
But,
it's
yes,
not
yes.
a symbol.
No,
Now
no,
see
no,
this.
yeah,
The biggest, it's quite weird, is number 2.
The biggest one is number 2.
Yes.
Okay.
The smallest one is number 3.
Ah, okay.
And you cannot make, let's say, let me try. So you can go, where is the H? Oh, this is, so everything is here.
Ace.
Yeah. So you can go like, this is the order,
Okay, yeah.
because it's increasing.
Yes.
But you cannot put the 2 here, so the 2 is split it. 2 will not belong to any sequence.
Okay.
You cannot put 2.
So 2 has to be as a pair or?
Can be a pair, can be 3 of them, can be 1,
Right.
but it cannot go into the stack.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And so if I put down 2, you can put down 2.
No, then I lost because this is the biggest.
Okay.
This is the biggest card, so we call like the pick.
I kind of know this game.
Yes.
Slave, something like that.
I don't know the English name. We call 13, we call 2 or something.
Okay.
We need to put in a bigger card, right?
Yes.
And that's the biggest.
Yes.
Ah.
And then so this is cannot combine with anything.
Okay.
It's alone.
Okay.
And then we move to the more complicated thing. So we have. So you can go only for one pair at a time. Let's say this.
Yeah.
You don't have like. You cannot put these 2.
Okay.
But if you have 3 bears in a row. So let's say you have this.
We have 2 packages of chicken that have to go today.
So if I have 3 bears in a row, so 8, 9, 10. Let's say I put this, and then this is bigger, so you put this. Then 3 bears in a row is bigger than number 2. Yes.
Oh, you do that too?
Yes. So then I can beat you here.
Okay.
And then you must, in this case, you cannot put anything number 2 anymore. You have to find 3 bears in a row bigger than this.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Wait, so let's say if someone play that, you can play that.
Yes.
Can you do that? That's all.
No, that is weaker or not belong to the sequence. Because this is the sequence of every single car.
Right.
Yes.
But then why are these?
Because that's the rule of the game. So if you have 3 continuous number, 3 pairs, but continuous, like
Right.
8, 9, 10.
3
or
pairs, so
yeah.
and you
but,
need
but
it.
pairs are bigger than sequence?
No, when you go for one car,
Right.
and then 3
Yes.
pairs in a row can beat
Okay, fair.
whatever
Yeah.
number, even it can beat this.
Yeah, yeah,
What
sure.
we
Yes.
play in Thailand is that we use this instead, 3 of a kind.
No, 3 upper kai running only 3 upper kai. So let's say if I go for 3 number 6, you must find 3 number 7, 3 8,
Yeah.
3 9, but you cannot anything.
I see.
Yes.
It's a little bit different for.
Then there is another thing. So I must be in the sequence to play with you. So let's say if I go for, let's play, we say 3 people.
Yeah.
You play 8, she play 9,
Yeah.
and then I skip it.
Okay.
So I cannot join anymore until we
Right.
finish this. But if you have 4 bears in a row, you can jump no matter where you want.
4 pairs in a row?
Yes, let's
Okay.
say 7, 9, 10, and jack.
Okay.
Then you can jump no matter where you want. Even you can skip, then suddenly you jump. Now I want to be in.
Okay.
So you can do an ambush, and you jump in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Yes.
What if you have 4 of a kind?
Yes. 4 can also beat. I will go to that. So 4 upper high can beat any number 2,
Okay.
but cannot beat a pair of 2.
Right.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah, pair 2 is very high.
Okay.
But 4 bear in a row can beat also a pair up 2.
Okay. Okay.
So can this beat that?
Only one.
So what can I beat?
Only 4 bears in a row.
I
Yeah.
see. So a bit different.
Yes, and mainly that is the most complicated things done.
Okay.
But then we play into the point, so it's not every single game, but you keep playing
Right.
and
Yeah,
playing.
sure. Yeah.
Because the point is complicated.
Right.
So this is 1 point. If you
Right.
lost one, you lost 1 point.
Right.
If you win a game, you got, I don't remember, 2 or 3 points, depends on how we decide the rule. But if you lost one black 2,
Okay.
you lose 1 point. If you lost one red 2,